Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to Personal Growth Advanced Leadership Toastmasters Club, meeting number 131. First of all, I'd like to read the club. Howard. Skills, resulting in greater self-confidence, personal growth, and personal growth lead club. Okay, thank you. That is our club mission. All right, I think we are going straight to our agenda. We are still waiting for some of our Yes,
thank you very much, Rosie. You're breaking up just a little bit, I'm finding. So thank you for reading our club mission. We do believe that at Personal Growth Leaders, that we are here to enhance our leadership and our speaking skills. And I'd like to say congratulations to Tristiane, who has completed a level in her Pathways journey. So congratulations to her. And thank you to Fatima for getting onto the agenda and making sure that we are all here and roles are filled. So I really love it when the Toastmaster gets in there and helps the VPE. So thank you again for that. And I just want to say what I like most about our club is that we have so many strong members who are here to say, we are going to have a great club. We are going all the way. President's Distinguished. Let's just keep working towards it. And our Toastmaster for today is from Malaysia, and she is a world-class leader, and she is going to be a world-class coach with Craig Valentine very soon. And she's also got other training credentials behind her. She has been very active in Toastmasters and definitely has something to offer all of us. So please welcome Fatima.
Hello, fellow Toastmasters. Good day to all of you, where you are. I'm from Malaysia, so it's 9 p.m. here in Malaysia. Now, for the welcome our guests, Salim, thank you so much for being here, and my lovely, amazing Toastmasters. You guys are awesome. Now, for the theme of the day, it's life lessons. Now, when we think about what are the life lessons? Is there a lesson in every experience? Can you raise your hands if you believe in each and every incident in your life, you learn something? Thank you. Now, however, there is something I disagree, because you have so many quotes, statements thrown out in the Google. For example, I will give you, money is bad. Who says so? Is money good? Money can buy things. Of course, in the context, it can be different. Now, another quote, walk your own path. For me personally, I believe in collaboration with all of you together, holding hands, we will achieve greater heights, walking together, not only my own path. So life lessons we learn every time we do something. For instance, early morning, John and myself, we left to come to Kuala Lumpur, and I printed the agenda, and there were some items missing. And immediately I got a message from Shomesh here, who is a founder member of our club. He said, somebody speaking, I'm evaluating. So he privately messaged me, and what's a lesson I learned from that? Sometimes you need members' support. And instead of being defensive and shouting and, getting stressed out, appreciate the help they're offering. So ladies and gentlemen, let's work together, hold hands, and be collaborative in our efforts. Now with that, let me invite, we have two speakers today. A little minor changes to the agenda. That is, Kathy will be evaluated by Shomesh, and the second speaker, Anvita, will be evaluated by Kaushal. As for the grammarian, spontaneously, I asked my better half, and he kindly offered to be the grammarian. So let's have the word of the day. Over to you.
Hello, fellow Toastmasters. So the word of the day is sapient. There are a number of areas that sapient actually turns up. One of them is intelligent, able to think. It says here, she is sapient, conscious, able to hold an intelligent conversation. The second one is wise, sapient wise. His failure to heed my sapient advice. So wise. And of course, the third one we all know is to do with the human species, the Homo sapiens. We may inherit a universal linguistic blueprint from our sapient ancestors of 4,000 years ago. So you can see there that you can use sapient in a lot of areas. Intelligent, wise, Homo sapiens. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much. Let's do some sapient studying together tonight, sharing. And we have our role players, Sabareya, who will be the timer. And as we are in advanced club, for the sake of our guests, we don't explain the roles because we are very familiar with our roles. And since you are a Toastmaster, also I will avoid explaining all about that. So I will jump straight into the first speaker. She is doing an icebreaker. So her speech will be 4 to 6 minutes. Kathy, she is taking from the pathways, that is effective coaching. And her project title is World Class, Kathy. She'll be evaluated by Kaushal. Over to you, Kathy. 4 to 6 years, Sabaria. Over to you, Kathy. Thank you.
It's the International Conference for Toastmasters. We have 8 people that are about to step onto the stage for the finals. Nisha turns to me and says, "Thank you so much for your feedback." I was blown away. And then I watched her step on stage and saw that, yes, she had heard my feedback. Now, I am not Nisha's coach, but I'm in a program called Stage Time, so we get to speak with each other and evaluate each other on a regular basis. And I noticed that when she went up on stage, it was a speech that I had the opportunity to give her feedback on, and I could distinctly see that now maybe her coaches had also picked that up, but I do know that the suggestions that I had made for her, she had made those changes in that speech. That day started the seed of something that a project I have going on right now. When I first joined Toastmasters, it was all about myself. Who here, like me, wanted to learn to be a better speaker? Or maybe a better leader? But along the way, now I initially joined Toastmasters back in 2010. I usually tell people I've been in Toastmasters for 3 years because really back then, I wasn't really in Toastmasters. I had no idea there were contests. I had no idea there was an international conference. See my tropical background getting me ready for next week. But along the journey, I not only wanted to become a better speaker, but I noticed that I have really developed a passion for seeing other people grow in their journeys as speakers. And that day, not only did Nisha mention to me about the feedback I'd given her, but another person from that same organization also mentioned it. And I had been thinking that I thought it would be amazing to be a speaking coach. But that day made me realize that's something that I wanted to put on my vision board. And that's what I'm doing right now. I started working on evaluating when we were doing our contest with my district. We do 1 year, we do evaluations, 1 year we do table topics. I really spent time evaluating, but also with my organization that I'm in, I made it a point to help and make sure that every single person got a piece of feedback, because there's nothing worse than asking for feedback and nobody gives you any. The beauty of Toastmasters is we have that opportunity for feedback. Now I've joined Craig Valentine's program called World Class Speaking Coach. It's a certification. He only takes about 25 people each year. Now, Craig Valentine, for those of you that don't know, is one of our previous world champions of public speaking. And going through this, and I'm also blessed that I'm also in this program with Fatima and Teresa. The three of us are all working on this, and we're all going to be world class. Well, we're already world class. We're just going to be even more world class. But I've been able to learn more structure, and, feedback is so important. It's such an important tool that I think a lot of people that are new to Toastmasters, we're all advanced Toastmasters, but I think a lot of people don't realize when they first join Toastmasters that they're going to get that really valuable piece of information. A lot of people with Toastmasters, we get feedback and we have a sandwich, and usually there's a little bit of feedback. When you work with a coach or anybody who gives you feedback, whether it's stage time, a personal, actually working with a coach, or through Toastmasters, you get to see things that you're sometimes so close to your speech or that information that you miss things. For example, I just worked with I'll call her my guinea pig client the other day, and she had what's called an open loop in her speech. That was what happened with Nisha too, and what I had showed her. She was mentioning some things in her speech, but what she didn't realize at the end of the speech, she had left kind of like a breadcrumbs in her speech, but she never got us to the end of the conversation. And that's the same thing with this client. We're so close to that content that we miss that didn't close or give our audience enough information. So it's been amazing to learn this, and I'm so excited to be able to have taken my journey. And I want this feedback and learning and coaching, I get to learn to be a better speaker also, but I get to help others on their journey. Because when I started, it was about me and wanting to be a better speaker and someday be the world champion of public speaking. And I'm still going to be working on that. But I get to help other people on their journeys. And I think that's something I never expected with Toastmasters. So that's why I wanted to share this in this fourth icebreaker of mine, that my journey continues to take me along the way. In Pathways, we all have these different icebreakers, but we're in a constant learning process. And I'm excited to see that Nisha is again in the semifinals this year. I didn't give her feedback on her speech this year, but she's still a champion in world class. And I'm looking forward to being world class as a world class coach here in just a few weeks when we finish our program. And I get to be hanging out with world class people like Fatima, Teresa, and the rest of you in this club. Thank you for being with me on this journey. And I'm excited about becoming a better speaker and helping other people become better speakers. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters.
Wow. You're blown away with us with all your sharing. And I'm so happy to be part of your journey together. And I'm learning every day. It's amazing. She just did a speech spontaneously. And isn't that amazing? That's how we want to learn to be better speakers. Thank you so much, Katie, for sharing your journey. Now let's move to the next speaker, our second speaker for tonight. Anvita, she's taking from Pathways Dynamic Leadership, and her project is researching and presenting from the old path, I guess. And the time is 5 to 7 minutes. And she has a very interesting title. Ooh, Liar, Liar, Pants on Fire. Liar, Liar, Pants on Fire. Anvita, over to you.
Liar, liar, pants on fire, hanging on a telephone wire. The 5-year-old me sang to my best friend, Shamika. Oh, Anvita, shut up, she said. Why should I? You lied to me yesterday. You told that your dad can lift a heavy truck with his bare hands. So what? Even you lied, she said. No, I have never lied in my life till now, I said. Good day, Toastmasters and dear guests. That was obviously a lie. Of course I lied. I lie, you lie, we all lie. Deception comes naturally to all living beings. Birds do it. They feign injuries to lead their prey away from nesting young. Spider crabs do it by disguise. They adorn themselves with strips of kelp and other debris to escape their enemies. According to Gerald Johnson of the University of South Carolina, Homo sapiens are lied to about 200 times a day. That is roughly one untruth every 5 minutes. But don't worry, I'm not going to lie to you in the next 5 minutes. I have done my best. We lie for the same reasons. Save our own skins and to get something we cannot by other means. A research paper published by the National Library of Medicine has revealed some interesting facts. According to it, we lie more to strangers than co-workers. Extroverts lie more than introverts. Men lie 8 times more about themselves than about other people. Women lie to protect people. By closely observing facial expressions, tone of voice, and body language, we can spot a lie. The clues are written all over the face, our face, the window to our soul. According to Paul Ekman, a professor of psychology at the University of California, San Francisco, who has spent the past 15 years studying the secret art of deception, one of the most difficult expressions to feel is sadness. When you are truly sad, your forehead wrinkles. The inner corners of your eyebrows are pulled up. Fewer than 15% of the people he tested were able to produce this eyebrow movement voluntarily. By contrast, the lowering of eyebrows associated with an angry scowl can be replicated easily by almost anyone. Paul says that one of the easiest expressions to counterfeit is a smile. It takes 2 muscles, the zygomaticus major that extends from the cheekbones to the corners of the lips to produce a grin. But there's a catch. A genuine smile also affects orbicularis oculi, the muscles surrounding the eyes. A counterfeit smile can be unmasked if the corners of the lips go up, eyes are crinkled, but the inner corners of the eyebrows are not lowered like this. Pamela Mayer author of Lie Spotting, has pointed out some behaviors that liars frequently demonstrate. They are not proof that somebody is lying. When you see clusters of them, that may be a signal. I will share those behaviors today. Liars unconsciously distance themselves from their subject using language as a tool. Listen carefully to what is said and how it is said. Most often we think that liars become fidgety while lying. The fact is, liars are known to freeze their upper body. Liars shift their blink rate. When they are lying, their blink rate will shift from their baseline. They also point their feet towards an exit. There is a common assumption that liars won't look you in the eye. Instead, they look you in the eye too much to compensate for that myth. Then having a conversation with someone you suspect of deception, their attitude is one of the telling indicators. An honest person is cooperative, they are willing and helpful to get to the truth. A deceptive person may be withdrawn. They may lower their voice and pause. Ask them their side of the story. They include all unnecessary details in different parts of it. They also tell stories in a strictly chronological order. When speaking to another person, liars take barrier objects and place it between themselves and the other person. Dear Toastmasters, knowing how to catch deceit is a very important survival skill. A person who is able to spot falsehood is highly unlikely to be hoodwinked by a devious friend or swindled by an unscrupulous business associate. Let us use the methods we learned today to survive and thrive. The next time someone lies to you, you will know it, won't you? Back to TTM Fatima.
Wow, wow. This is why I say we have world-class speakers already here. And I was listening to eyeballs, and I'm happy to hear that we lie, but women we protect, obviously. But I would say I lie. Why I tell only white lies. I try not to tell big lies. But it's a great speech, and Rita, as usual, she is amazing with her speeches. Now, let's move to the next exciting part. Yeah, that's the table topics. And this session will be led by our member all the way from India, Sanjeev. Take it away. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Fatima, Toastmaster of the Day. Today, I'll be presenting you the table topic. So yesterday, I was just thinking that what should be the table topic for this week. And suddenly, I went back to my old days when I was struggling to get job after doing my graduation. So I was interviewed at different different organization. Specifically in India, some of the organizations, I mean the government-led organization, which do the candidates a test that's called picture perception test. So in that particular test, picture perception test, what they show you a picture, and what you have to do, you have to write a story. You have to make some kind of story, and based on that, there a group of people discuss, and inside with that discussion they find out who is the leader and who is leading the team, and what way the story has been built. So everyone come with their own story. So overall idea of the entire exercise is to evaluate the candidate, how he's perceiving, how he's comprehending, how analyzing, and how he's interpreting the visual information. So that's what we are going to do today. I am just going to share you few pictures, and you'll have to make some story out of that picture. So any story. Okay. So I will share now my screen, and here, 1 minute. I think I have, can someone give me sharing right? I don't have sharing right. It's disabled for me.
Should be there now, Sanjeev.
Okay. Still, it looks. I am not able to share. Don't know what's the problem.
Maybe you can share your picture in the chat window.
Chat window, is it possible to share?
So someone can share them who have the rights instead of fixing this issue.
Okay, 1 minute. Oh, now I got it. Yeah. So here are some of the pictures which I have just collected from the internet, and this is one of the picture. And anybody who'd like to volunteer to start with? Can you see my screen now? Hello?
Teresa is one.
Sanjeev, there is, yeah, we can see, and Teresa has raised her hand.
Yeah. So Teresa, actually, I'm not able to see because I'm presenting. So it would be good if you can raise your voice. So Teresa, over to you, and make some interesting story out of this picture.
Thank you very much, Mr. Table Topics. My name is Alibaba, and I have found this most amazing cave that is filled with such wonderful rubies and diamonds and treasure. Look what I have found. I am just so excited about my treasure. It's going to give me such sapient ideas on how I'm going to get a better life. And now I can do the most challenging role that I have for my life. I am going to have the princess become my wife, and I'm going to build her the biggest castle. And we are going to have such a lovely life together. So my name is Alibaba, and I have discovered the Cave of Secrets, the cave where the most beautiful rubies, diamonds, and other lovely rocks are. And I am going to have the princess for my wife. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics.
What a wonderful story, Teresa. It shows your presence of mind and your imagining power. Thank you very much for sharing that story. So moving back to the next picture, and this picture, anybody would like to volunteer to tell a story on this picture? Okay. If no, then I'll pick someone for this. Somesh, can you please take this?
Very good.
Mr. Topics Master and fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. Okay, so I see two people discussing something very seriously. And I think depending on the type of person who is wearing that specs, it looks like he's got a very sapient outlook to what he does. And he is trying to advise the other person who is actually brooding. So the person on the right side of when we are seeing on the screen directly, he is intently listening to this person who is the sapient person who is giving the instruction to him. And what this person is thinking about is, I have been trying for so long to get something, but I'm not getting it. What is the reason that even though I keep trying and trying, I don't get what I want? And the person on the left side is giving him some instructions on how he could get what he wants. So what he talks about is, he talks about this law of assumption, which is prophesied by Neville Goddard. He's an amazing person. He talks about law of assumption, where he says that if you actually assume that what you want you already have, in a state of mind which is inside the subconscious. So when is subconscious activated? Subconscious gets activated when we have the theta waves. So we have got beta, alpha, theta, and gamma. Right? There are 4 different types of brain waves that we have. So the theta happens just before we go to sleep or just when we are going to wake up. So this person on the left side is talking about that particular aspect, that when you are just going to sleep or when you are just going to wake up, imagine that you already have what you want. And don't worry, you're very soon going to get what you want. Over to you, Mr. Topics Master.
Thank you very much, Somesh. What a wonderful story you have made, and what a good amount of information you fed in the story, which is not only a simple story, but it is full of knowledge and information. Thank you very much for that. So now, going forward, I'd request John to take this uh, and share his story. Over to you, John.
I told you there was something wrong with that tire. You didn't believe me, did you? I think this is a sapient moment in time that you need to fix my tire. Fatima, are you fixing my tire? I want to go out on this motorbike later on, so make sure that tire is really well done. If you have to take the inner tube out, even if we ain't got any air, you'll have to blow it up yourself so that I can go out later on. Okay? So how's it going? I'm good, my love, because I love you so much. Thank you, Fatima. Just carry on doing it. I'm going to go and have a cup of coffee. Can you call me when you've finished? And then I'm going to go out with my mates. So let's talk later. Great. Thank you very much for your working on my tire. And back to you, Sanjit.
Thank you very much, John. For it looks to me it's a very somewhere you have faced this in your real life, and that's thank you for sharing this story. So now I'd like to move to Kaushal. Kaushal, and here is the story picture for you.
Mr. Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. What you have here is a picture from the life of my father when he was a young man. Now, he was growing up in India, and in India, everyone is dressed the same. They're given school uniforms, and it's really important to look your best for your uniform to be clean at all times. So there you see on the left, my father making sure that his clothes are in top shape. And then you see on the right, my father as a student. Sometimes they did have class outside in India. And one thing that kids used to do to each other is they would say, "Oh, that kid's clothes aren't clean. He's going to get really bad grades." So the teacher here, he's saying which students did the best. And my father, his name was called, but he was so anxious about whether his clothes were clean that he did not even notice his name being called. Isn't that unfortunate when other people's perception of you overrides the truth about yourself? Is this a true story? It sort of is. My father told me a story about his time in school. It kind of went along the same ways. So that's what these pictures are about. My father, he's the most sapient person in the world that I know, but he, just like anyone else, is sometimes prone to anxiety. Mr. Topic Master.
Thank you very much, Kaushal, for sharing your very personal story, and that's about your father. And it's it's a very interesting to know about that. And moving ahead with this table topic, and let's see who will be speaking on this. So I request Pranesh to share his story with this picture.
Thank you, Table Topic Master. And this picture really invokes sapient thoughts in me, that how we handle situation in war like situation or some in difficulty. So in this one, I can see a police officer and who is kind of seeing a person holding his baby or kid actually. So it gives me a kind of idea where this person, some difficult situation in the region, and this person wants to save his kid, and he is talking to the police officer that even it is a very difficult situation, let me get out from here, and because there is some medical treatment is needed for my kid, and the police officer is listening him carefully and trying to help him as a sapient, and he's making arrangement. He's looking like that he's making arrangements so that both the kid can get some support. I'm also seeing there in behind there is a lot of people are there. They are also waiting for something. But this is a particular case because the person has one kid. Actually, that's why he is getting priority over the other people. And he is getting help actually. So the idea I give I'm getting from this picture. Over to you, table topic master.
Thank you very much for Pranish for sharing the instant story, which is quite difficult sometimes to, but still you tried, and it was very interesting. So moving to the next picture, and I would I'd be calling Sabaria for this. Sabaria, I think this better to go with this, Sabaria.
Okay. Hi, Sangeet. Hi, table topic masters. This picture?
Yes, this picture, yes.
Okay. The Wright brothers were the one who invented the aeroplanes for us humans to fly. But before that, they had a lot of tests, a lot of flight testing. And they had one occasion where they built this aeroplane like, and they had people to push it up to the mountain, to bring it up to the mountain, to get it flying up from the mountain. And all these people struggled to push it up. And they flew, yep, but failed. And they try again. And they get people again to push it, but with the engine, and now with the engines, push it up to the mountain. Yep, and it fails again. But then the Wright brothers look at all the birds flying, and he has this idea: we have to make it flap, flap, flap. And so they add the wing with the flaps and the flaps. And so they went up again on the mountain, push it up, and the two Wright brothers were out there. And they were flying because they managed to get the wing flapping and flapping. And that is their achievement. Aeroplane in the sky. Now we see it flying every minute up in the sky, everywhere in the world. Aeroplanes, Wright brothers. Back to you, table topic master.
Thank you very much, Sabria, for the making such a interesting story. So do I have time for another table topic and
No.
another? No,
Mm,
sorry.
Fatima say no. I say no.
No. Okay. Okay. So thank you very much, everyone, for taking uh, part active participation in this table topic. And I must say that you all have done brilliant in making the story from picture, and you all have passed the picture perception test, although I failed in my exam. So back to you, back to you, Toastmaster Fatima. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Table Topics Master Sanjeev. Yes, it's a very nice session where we can actually relate pictures. Well done, Sanjeev. I know table topics we're going to continue, keep going on and, inviting members. Because of the time factor, let's carry on with the next session. That is the evaluation. Part of the meeting will be carried by our president of our club, as well as the general evaluator for tonight, who is Elsa. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the day, Distinguished Toastmaster Fatima. And my role this morning is to lead the evaluation team. We have had such a sapient meeting. I've learned so much just listening today. Our first evaluator this morning is, or this afternoon, or this evening, depending on where you are, is Distinguished Toastmaster Kaushal, and he is going to be evaluating Kathy Draper's icebreaker speech on world class. Please.
Actually, I believe Somesh will be evaluating Kathy.
Yeah, Teresa, sorry, I think
Okay,
I did mention before I begin.
Sorry.
There's a swap of evaluators, so
Okay,
Kathy will be evaluated by Somesh and Amrita by Kaushal. Sorry,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, no, I was just looking at the agenda because I'm pretty sure you said that and it didn't click. Please welcome distinguished Toastmaster Somesh evaluating Kathy.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests, and especially Kathy. Congratulations on another great speech, and you have begun a new journey on your path of effective coaching. And what a great path to take in terms of what you are personally doing as well. So congratulations on that. And this is what I've always been informing people as well about pathways. Generally, people always ask why pathways as icebreaker every time. And the reason people can make the icebreaker different is based on what path they are choosing. And you have done it very nicely, Kathy, because you are doing a speech coach role now. You mentioned about that, and the path that you have taken is effective coaching. So it gels extremely well. So congratulations on that. Very nicely structured speech. So you actually initially mentioned how you had joined Toastmasters to become a better speaker, but then you started giving evaluations to people. They appreciated your evaluations and they became better speakers. And this actually encouraged you to go into the path of coaching, which is excellent. And I've seen this many a times with lots and lots of Toastmasters, that there would be one reason they would join Toastmasters. And when they continue in Toastmasters, they would continue to learn different aspects of their own personality, and they will keep improving, and they will keep understanding themselves even more every time. And you have very nicely explained it to us. And the whole structure that you had from the body, the initial starting, and you actually asked a question as well, which was really good. I think it is really good to engage the audience in the beginning. And they talk about having a hook in the speech. So hook is either we have a quote, we have a question, or we state a fact that might be really interesting for people. So you had the question. What I saw was you could possibly have the question in the beginning to get immediate attention from the audience. You had it after you said few sentences, you had the question there. So possibly you could have the question immediately in the beginning and everyone is just, trying to understand what you're going to ask, and then everyone is focused on what you're going to speak. Very small thing there. And then you mentioned about Nisha. You could have explained a little bit more about who that person is and what they were doing. I think you did mention briefly that they are participating in the World Champion of Public Speaking and are one of the 8 speakers. You could have given a little bit more information about that person. So that would have helped us to understand the dynamics between yourself and Nisha. Very small things. Otherwise, excellent speech, great flow through. The flow of the speech, the transitions were very good. To get to the next level, what I would recommend is have some kind of hook in the beginning and end with the same hook. You bring them on a circular journey, and then it'll go to the next level. So thank you very much for your speech. Over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Somesh, for your evaluation. And I just wanted to say, I really appreciated how you reminded us that she was doing effective coaching. The more we put pathways in front of us, knowing what the person is doing, it helps us to do that. And I also am glad you picked up on her opening with the question coming a little later. So if she had started with, thank you, Kathy, for your feedback, that would have said, wow, what did Kathy do? That was so great. So thank you so much for doing that. Our second evaluator evaluating Anvita's research and presenting speech will be Distinguished Toastmaster Kaushal. Please welcome Kaushal.
Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Anvita, in my 25 years of being with Toastmasters International, you are one of the most sapient speakers I've ever met. It's always a pleasure and a privilege to evaluate your speeches. You are such a great storyteller. Even though this speech was not about storytelling, for the most part, you began with a great story about you and your friend arguing about who was the liar. That really helped draw us in and become more interested in your speech. You had great hand gestures throughout your speech. You stood up during your speech. That really helped bring out your hand gestures. You even used props in your speech. You held a cup and you showed how someone might put that cup in front of them as a obstacle to distance themselves from somebody when they're not being truthful. And that always got me to think about police procedural shows on TV. The police always offer the suspect a cup of coffee, always at when they're about to interrogate them. And now I know why, to see what they're going to do with that cup of coffee. Are they going to put it in front of them to distance themselves from the police? You had great citation of several sources. You had clear diction throughout your speech. You embodied all the great characteristics that you always use in your speeches. If you had more time in your speech, I think you could have gotten into the complexity of the science of lie spotting. For example, you could have gotten into how certain gestures could be misinterpreted as lies because different cultures communicate differently. Eye contact means different things in different cultures. So a person who is avoiding eye contact, who is giving you constant eye contact, might not be doing this to show that they're telling the truth or lying, but just because that's the culture they come from. Also, you talked about how someone could display non-cooperation, but from the way that they're talking. And that could suggest lying, but there are certain situations in which you do not want to cooperate. For example, if you're being interrogated by the police, unless you're represented by a lawyer, it's best not to cooperate with them. You can't lie to them, but it's best to not answer any questions because the police themselves are excellent at deception. And they're very good in getting you to incriminate yourself, even if you tell the truth and even if you've not committed a crime. So if you had more time in your speech, maybe a 10 or 15-minute speech, I think you could have gotten into those complexities of truth telling and lying and how difficult it can be. I think we all found your speech really fascinating and we learned a lot from it. Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Distinguished Toastmaster Kaushal, for your glow points on Anvita's speech and also how she could enhance her speech, because we're all looking for that. One thing I found was that Anvita's volume seemed to go down when she was speaking. And I think it's because of the fact that she was standing and just depended where she was with the volume. So just a thought on that, Anvita. But again, thank you very much. I would now like to go to our timer, Distinguished Toastmaster Sabaria, to give us our timing rules, please.
Yeah, my pleasure, as a Sabian. I'm so happy to report the timing. Kathy, speaker 606. Anvita 709. Table topic, speakers. Distinguished Toastmaster Teresa, 1 minute 30 seconds. Distinguished Toastmaster Samish, 2 minutes 20 seconds. Distinguished Toastmaster John, 1 minute 18 seconds. Distinguished Toastmaster Kaushal, 2 minutes 29 seconds. Pranish, 1 minute 51 seconds. And Distinguished Toastmaster Bhavya, 1 minute 36 seconds. As for the evaluator, we have Samish at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And Distinguished Samish, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Distinguished Kaushal, 3 minutes, 40 seconds. That's my report. Back to you, John Evaluator.
Thank you very much for your very sapient report, giving us the times and knowing that we all are speaking within our time frame. So thank you for that. Our grammarian, please welcome distinguished Toastmaster John.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a shorter time, so I'm going to be very quick. For sapient. Da 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 da. Teresa, you had 3. The next one was Kausal with 2. And then we had one, Fatima, Samesh, John, and Pranish, all with 1. And I'm surprised that we got so many tonight, because I thought sapient would be hard to put into speeches, but I found out it wasn't. So the thing I'm going to pull out for this is only one item, because I know all the rest, the English was very good. I didn't see any problems with speaking of the people that were speaking tonight. Liar, liar, pants on fire. I know a lot of us know this as kids. It means you get caught in a lie. So if you lie and somebody will go, liar, liar, pants on fire. But do a lot of people know this comes from William Blake? William Blake was a poet, and it came from one of his poems called The Liar. So this is some time ago. And the reason I brought this up is 2 reasons. Because William Blake was a Londoner, just like me, right? And the other thing, he actually died on August the 12th, 1827. So today is his anniversary, but anniversary of when he died, I must say. So that's what I'm going to just pull out tonight. Everybody was well done on their English. And back to you, Teresa.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster John. And thank you for the William Blake lesson. Another sapient meeting again, Toastmasters. Our meeting started on time. And thank you very much to Rosie for giving us our mission statement. We feel that it's an important part of our club. Also, I felt that our speeches today were quite informing, giving us what we wanted to hear. And then we had table topics with Sanjeev. Sanjeev, very interesting. Love how you just got in there and chose people. Because sometimes when we ask for volunteers, who knows that the people in this club are so shy? Who would know that? So just choosing it was good. So thank you for that very, very sapient lesson on life. Evaluations, I've already mentioned, were great. Really enjoyed that. Just before I finish here, I'd like to look at next week's meeting, but I'll adjourn first and bring us around. Let us take a photo. Who's doing that?